website right here, and as you can see, we have all these videos. Some of them have been closed captioned already. In fact, most of them have, but I've left this one. You can see where they've been closed captioned with this CC sign like this. But as you see, this one here hasn't been. I've left it open for closed captioning. So here we go. Click on it. These are some profile videos for different people in our office. So I'm going to pause it there real quick. And so as you can see over here, you have to be signed in to your YouTube account in order to have access to closed caption of your own video. Here's the closed caption button. Click on it. This is so easy. You guys are going to love this. It's a piece of cake. Just figure it. Now, as you see here, there's an automatic caption. So YouTube automatically does a caption for you. So if you click on it, all of a sudden there's already what they think this person is saying in this video. And of course, most of the time it's messed up. But what's cool is that it breaks it up sort of with the speech patterns already. And so it's going to tell you where there's been something's been spoken. And literally all you have to do is go in and correct what's being said. So the speech starts at 7 seconds because you have some intro music. So I'm just going to play until we see where she's going to start talking.
I've always liked building things.
Okay, so that's what she said. She said, I've always liked building things. And obviously this was not what she said. So, okay, just change it. I've always liked building things. Done. Now the next breath is the next thing. So we can click on it to listen.
Things, discovering how things work.
Ooh, so I missed that a little bit there, so I can just easily go back. And in fact, if I want to go back to this particular number that they've chosen, I just go like this, I click on there, and it takes me exactly to what she's going to say.
Creating things.
Okay, so she said creating things. So, I mean, I would do this. There's no rule on how you need to do the grammar in this. I just try to keep it kind of consistent. So I've always liked building things, and then she says creating things. And then she's going to say something else. So let's see. This next thing she says is
discovering how things work.
Pause. Discovering how things work. Some people speak clearer than others. So like I've had other cases where like Catherine here she speaks really fast and not as clear, but sometimes the person speaking is much clearer and the transcription is much more accurate. But in any case, I think she said discovering how things work. Oops. All right. Let's just see what she says next.
And naturally that led me to pursuing engineering at MIT.
Oh, let's finish that.
MIT.
Okay, so she says, and naturally that led me to pursuing engineering at MIT. Okay, here. Oops. Led me to, and I like that they do this. Actually, I try to like space out how the lines look because it looks better on the screen. So it led me to pursuing engineering at MIT. So that was the end of her thought there. And we could play it back and see how it sounds.
And naturally that led me to pursuing engineering at MIT.
Okay, good. So now we're going to have the next, we'll just keep going.
Education is something that also sort of fits into that, learning how things work, because to me...
Okay, so education. Oops, I kind of missed everything she said there. Hold on, let me just do it again.
Education is something that also sort of...
I'm just going to pause it there so I don't miss it. Education is something that also, she goes sort of, we don't have to include that, so that also
fits into that learning.
Also fits into that learning, hold on.
How things work, because to me it's a pup.
Let me just go back just a tiny bit.
That learning how things work, because to me...
Okay, so education is something that also fits into that learning. So sometimes people's speech patterns aren't perfect grammar, but we figure out, like sometimes, you can play with it if you prefer. So also fits into, I'm just going to say learning how things work. And I think she's going to say because next. So we just click to hear exactly next.
Word, because to me it's a puzzle.
Okay. All right. Now, I guess not to make this too much longer, this is a short piece too. It's only a minute and 17 seconds, but I'm not going to go through and do it all for the case of this study because it's going to take maybe too long. But you get the idea, I hope. And now I'm going to show you what to do next, because this is actually a tricky part, and if you don't, you can figure it out, but it's easier if I just tell you. So here you're going to save, once you have the whole thing done and transcribed, you save a copy. Save this copy. Now, here's where you got to be careful. There's two transcripts now. There's YouTube's automatic captions, and then this one's ours. So what I want to do is I'm going to click on ours that we just created, and we're going to see that some of them are good and some of them aren't. So here you go all the way down until I started, till where we left off. But this is obviously our transcript. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and I'm going to say, okay, this is enabled right now. So you see, you don't want to disable it. So this is the one we actually want to use, and we're going to add our own name to it. So what I do is I go MITC Grant closed caption. And that's important later. I'll explain to you why. So save changes. This is our official transcript. Now this one here, I want to get rid of because I don't want it to show this one at all. So I disable right here, disable that. So that's never going to play. We don't want the bad one to play. We want this one that's ours to play. So now watch. Let's see. Play, see how it looks. I'm going to click on this and wait, I'm just going to click on it to see it. Before publishing, I would like still, once you've already done it, hold on. I want our captions to play. Wait, shoot. Hold on. Active tracks. So we want this one to play. So now I'm just going to play this real quick, and and then you follow along and make sure everything looks right. Just watch it once through. Make sure all the transcripts look right. Just click straight.
I've always liked building things, creating things, discovering how things work, and naturally that led me to pursuing engineering at.
And this is why I like to watch it through, because sometimes YouTube automatically puts your two lines here, and it's really weird when you're reading subtitles to read across the page like this, and then to have one little word at the end here on a second line. So I like to space them out so it looks good. So sometimes it'll do that, and we can find a case. For example, here we haven't transcribed it yet. Most of the time they do a pretty good job, but every once in a while it doesn't look right. So scroll through and watch your whole video and make sure that the spacing looks right. This one looks pretty good, but if it doesn't look right, you can just come in here on this side and figure it out. Okay, moving along from that, the reason I think it's important to name your transcript is because later on, the way that this is set up, let's go back. So now, let's just say now we have, so cancel that. Oh, it thinks we saved. Okay, cancel that. So this is our transcript. When people go to watch your video on YouTube, anybody anywhere in the world can come to your video like this and click here, and they can see all the transcripts that exist. That's why I want to say English, MITC Grant closed caption. Just in case somebody else goes in and adds their own, or people can go in and translate the captions. And what's really cool about this, actually, I found, is that you know how Google Translate exists? You can translate anything really and find out what's being written all over the internet. Well, people in other countries can find out what your video is about literally by clicking this transcript caption. And if you have a really good translation versus the messed up one that YouTube gives you originally, it'll give you a pretty decent translation. So people will know they could watch your video, and it's not a perfect translation, obviously, but pretty close, especially if you've done a good job transcribing, which is why you want to make sure that it's done right. And I think that's it. People can turn their captions off or turn them on. So that's it. I hope that's helpful. There's all kinds of videos on YouTube that give you more feedback and more ideas on any kind of technical thing you need to do on YouTube.